What would you like to start off with a connection?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. All right. I will invite you to close your eyes if that feels good. Go ahead and get relaxed where you're sitting. Really feel how your body is being supported as you're sitting. And take a deep breath in, nice and deep into the belly, allowing all stress to release. Take another deep breath in, allowing love and joy to be present. And just focus on your breath, feeling that breath inside of your body, giving life to all your cells. And take another deep breath in, allowing your body to be fully relaxed and your mind and your spirit to be fully present. And we can start whenever you're ready.
Mm, It's always so good.
Yeah, I know I need it myself too. I'm just like, oh,
hmm Yeah, just slowing down.
yeah.
Mm.
So, what would you like to accomplish in today's session?
It's funny because I never know where this is going to go, right? But the story I've been telling myself is 10 years ago, I had a desire to change. I was unhappy, right? I was stuck. And lately, stepping into who I am meant to be, I'm telling myself the same story. I'm stuck. I still don't have a relationship I want. Still want a better relationship with my kids. I still want finances better. I want to be stepping into coaching and being fulfilled. Even health, there's always room for growth. As I was just sitting there breathing, I'm like, I am pretty much doing whatever I want to do right now. Like, if I want to go for a walk, I go for a walk. If I want to go to the gym, I go to the gym. I took my kids out to dinner and I didn't really stress about money. Like there's underlying like, oh my gosh, but it's like there's this trust. And this just came to me because again, the last few days I'm like, not where I want to be, I'm not where I want to be. And it's like there's a lot of things that are exactly where I want to be. Again, I may not have a relationship, but I'm taking the steps to, I'm very clear on what I want. That's a huge step that I didn't have 10 years ago, or, you know, health wise. There's so many habits and goals that I have in place that are getting me to where I want to be. I think there's always room for growth. So I think it's just this like, I don't know, kind of this like sense of peace that like you're on the right track. You're doing all the things. And like surrendering,
Mm,
trusting, like we were talking about last week. Our conversation last week was so good for me. Like just the letting go and trusting has been really on my mind all weekend.
that's beautiful.
And I don't know. I again, there's like things that I'm like, oh gosh, I wish this, and this, and this were in place. But at the same time, I have like a real cool sense of peace right now. And I'll tell you, sometimes that depends on my day job, right? When my job is super stressful, I'm stressed. But like
Mm,
right now, I'm managing it. It's manageable. I still have time to do what I want to do. I have capacity to like think about and create what I want to be doing, and gratitude for what I have. So it's like awareness, just like staying in this place, continuing because there's still like I always feel like I have more. There's more to do. There's more I should be doing. I should be doing something more with my business. I
mm,
should be taking action in this, whatever. But there's also like this peace and gratitude for what I am doing on a daily basis. Um, so I don't know. I don't know where I want to focus, but I think it's just like allowing myself to enjoy where I'm at right now, maybe, and not
mhm,
strive for more every second of every day. Like, wow, what if I just enjoy where I'm at because I feel a really cool sense of peace? And even as I say that, there's, okay, but what about this? And what about you want to do this? And what about this? But it's just like, I want people to come to me because they are just attracted to who I am and they need what I want and they see my heart. I don't want to strive and like, oh my gosh, how are people going to come to me? Oh my gosh, how are people going to find me? What do I have
mm,
to do today? I have to post this many pieces of content. I have to do this, this, this. It's like, what if? Like, I just kind of want it to like supernaturally happen and I'm going to take action,
right.
but it's just this really cool sense of peace right now that I just want to like sit in and enjoy because I feel like for a long time, it was this like strive, 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 more and more and more. Should be doing this. So it's almost like gratitude. Like this gets to be fun. I've always heard work from rest.
Mhm,
Like I was on fire to create that podcast yesterday. And like I just knew, I mean, it was Holy Spirit, whatever you want to say, like this needs to get out of you right now. And I found myself like, nope, there's laundry to do. Nope, you should don't go do this. Nope, blah, blah, blah. And like I was supposed to have dinner with my son or lunch with my son. And he's like, can we actually do it later? I'm like, yep, because I got stuff to do. I got something to do right now. And I've had this in me. Like told you, I think, like I felt like
mhm.
I'm pregnant with something. Like there's something
Yeah.
that needs to come out. And I finally like, I think it's like I finally took that step and like released some,
Mhm,
and it felt so good. And whether or not anybody watches it, yes, I've heard a couple people have texted and been like, hey, I watched this and blah, blah, blah. And like that feels amazing. And I love that. And that probably helps, right?
mhm,
But I guess it's just like a trusting that whoever needs it will find it. And like this excitement to do more. That doesn't feel like work to me. It just feels so in alignment with like my purpose and my calling and my passion. And I've had this desire for so long, and it feels like I'm like finally stepping into it. And it's like I've done a lot of work to get here, and it's like finally happening. And it's like I have this knowing that they're coming. My clients are coming. I'm gonna get clients. Like my goal is a paid client.
mm,
That I will freaking rejoice
Ah,
like no other the first
yeah.
time my first paid client because I put a link out there, because I put content out there, because I shared my heart,
Hmm.
like that. And then it's like, it feels like there's a snowball effect. Like you get your first paid client, and then it's like to do the work and to hopefully have a testimony of somebody that's like, oh my gosh, like whatever, right? I mean, that's kind of what I'm envisioning. And then there's more, and then there's more. And again, I have so many ideas and things in my head, but it's just like one step at a time. It's not all going to happen overnight.
Hmm.
I think it's felt overwhelming for so long. And I know, whatever, it just feels good to talk through this and like to get it out. And again, just this awareness that I just got as we slow down to breathe, like I am really grateful for what I have. And that desire for more is okay. That desire for more is taking me in the direction that I want. It's like that's just part of the walk. That's just part of the purpose is like, and I think we've talked about this, like, I don't know that I'll ever get to the point where I'm like completely content and like, oh, I'm good. Like, we're constantly going to be growing. That's
Right.
what life is.
Hmm.
And it's about enjoying that and the journey of that. And man, I think just over the past however many years, I've just like beat myself up. The coulda, shoulda, woulda, the guilt, the shame, the self-hatred, really, self-sabotage. I mean, just
Mm,
ugh.
yeah.
And it's like I think just my story is like, or my people are like going from like stuck, disappointment, whatever, frustration, unhappiness, whatever you want to call it, to love, joy, peace, and just like that's where I want to live.
Hmm. Yeah. So when you think back to the story of 10 years ago and what you like that same story of being unhappy and stuck, not having the relationship, how can you reframe that?
Again, what has been holding me back is I am not at a place where I have this, this, and this. So how can I coach somebody else? That's been my limiting belief. But
Hmm.
literally right now, I'm like, I'm actually in a place of not content, but like peace and excitement for what's to come, but also like I can recognize all the growth that I've done. And again, this is literally just like an aha right now because earlier today I was like, who am I to coach somebody in a relationship? But it's like I have a lot of wisdom and knowledge in here that I've read books, done podcasts, been coached. I mean, on so many subjects. And everyone says you only have to be one step ahead. And I think I'm finally realizing I have a lot to offer, actually.
Mm.
And I don't know if I could have said that like 3 days ago.
And how does that feel to say that? I
Yeah,
have
like
a
I'm
lot
really
to
glad we're
offer.
recording this because if I have that point where I'm like, Ashley, I can't do this, that blah, like I'm not good enough. The I'm not good enough story has
Mm-hmm.
been my entire life.
Hmm.
And I feel like I'm actually like, no, I have a lot to offer. And that feels really good to say. Like I have a confidence that I feel like I've not had before. And as I say that out loud, there's a fear like, yeah, but just wait till someone says and tells you you're not good enough. I'm like, okay, so I get to choose who I listen to, right? I get to choose what the truth is there. And that's, I feel like you and I talked about this. It's literally our belief. What do we believe? Do I believe I'm not good enough or do I believe that I have a lot to offer? It's my choice.
Mhm. Right. And who tells you that you're not good enough?
Yep.
Like literally. Who directly says to you, Miranda, you're not good enough?
Well, I think any like comment on a post, if I see a YouTube post or a comment that's like, if someone says it, right? Who are you to blah, blah, blah? Or I've had people in my life that have put me down or made me feel not good enough. They might not say like you're not good enough, but that literally my ex-husband's like, you broke up our family. You're not a good mom. And I
Mm-hmm.
believe those things,
Mm-hmm.
right? But like, well, number one, I just don't trust a word he says anymore, but I did
Mm-hmm.
because he was my spouse. So I believed him. But I'm at a place now where I'm like, that voice does me no good. It's not the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But even I think, who tells you you're not good enough? I mean, it's my own brain because it's been ingrained in my brain. It's been ingrained in my brain probably since childhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who knows? I probably raised my hand at one point when I was 6 years old and I didn't know the answer. And maybe people laugh. I don't remember this stuff, but like that's how something like that can happen, right? Someone laughs at you or you say the wrong thing. And then I'm like, oh my God, I better not say anything. I'm stupid. And you believe that for the rest of your life. And if you
Mm-hmm.
believe that, you find everything that's going to prove that to you, right? If I believe I'm stupid, then anytime someone says blah, 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 I'm like, oh yeah, see, I'm stupid. Oh yeah, see, I'm not good enough because somebody told me. And it just it stacks up the belief, whether it's good or bad. But now, hopefully I'll continue to walk in this like I have a lot to offer. I have confidence. I know who I am. So I'm gonna look for things that prove that to me. So those
Mm-hmm.
messages from people that listen to my podcast, like, wow, that feels good. Thank you. That's confirmation that I posted it and that someone listened and my voice is valuable. And I will make an impact. I am making an impact. That feels
Mm-hmm.
good.
Yeah, right. Well, do you mind if I share a quote with you?
No, go for it.
So this says, real love rises above the ego. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it.
Yep.
And there was another one that I saw um, last week that was talking about how easy it is to find the negative
Yeah.
when we're surrounded by so much good
Yep.
and so much positive.
Yep. And it's a choice what you focus on.
Mm-hmm.
I can focus on my bank account right now and the lack, or I can focus on, and trust all these people that are coming to me that just want to take a step, just want to grow, just want to be a better version of themselves. And
Mm-hmm.
what's coming or what's here to happen, it's happening. It's happening.
Yeah, yeah. And how does it feel when you focus on looking for the good?
Exactly. I mean, gratitude is a choice, right? I mean, I think you know how bad I want like a relationship with a loving man. Like my vision is so freaking crystal clear. And I take steps and I'll go out with people. And I'm like, so excited. This is the one. Yeah, no. Oh my gosh, this might be it. No. But that's a step in the right direction. That's a step of here's what I want. I really like this about this person, but I don't like that. And I would rather be by myself than single than in a relationship that is like struggle and hard. And,
Mm,
I need somebody that is growing, that has faith. No, they don't have to be the same as me, but we have to have the same values. Health, growth,
right.
faith, like those things are really important. And so, and I'm pretty proud of myself for like, I've gone in relationships and they feel good. And I might know that, this probably isn't the one, but you know what? It feels really good right now. So I was with somebody for a few months or a couple years, and I'm like, but I learned so much from that, and I'm not going to do that again. Like, if there's anything that tells me no,
Hmm.
then I'm like, no. And so, that, I mean, gosh, I just feel like there's so many people that stay in relationships that are unhappy,
Hmm.
whether you're dating or whatever it looks like. I mean, again, I think you just have to be crystal clear on what you want. And the brokenness, like the unhealed version, not that I'm healed completely or anything, but like that I'm not good enough will just stay in a relationship that feels somewhat good, but not all the way. I don't know, it's like you're
Hmm.
settling a piece of it. But like to step into the full version of me, the full authentic version of me, I need to be 100% my authentic self. And if I can't, then that is not serving me. Whether it's a friendship or anything, you know?
Yeah.
I don't remember the question you asked, but I love the question of like, how does it feel? Because that's what it's all about. And I think most of the time we don't take the time to realize how we feel, right?
Hmm.
Like thinking way back when I started all this, like I felt empty. I felt lonely, even though I had a spouse, I had a great job, I had my health, I had my kids, but I felt empty. Oh, gratitude, just focusing on gratitude. Yeah, because again, we have so much if we just take the time to say, yeah. And it's perspective because, you can look at something and think, oh, I failed. My divorce was a failure. Okay, but I'm actually grateful to have learned what I learned and what I want and what I don't want, and grateful to have stepped out even with fear and the unknown and the uncertainty. And I'm grateful. I mean, gosh, I would never wish divorce on anybody, but I'm
Hmm.
grateful for the lessons. I'm grateful to be in this place of where like I love myself way more than I did when I was in that marriage.
And how does that feel? Loving yourself more now than when you were in your
Yeah,
marriage?
and I blamed, right? It was all his fault that I had all these problems, but I had to realize that I have to do the work
Mhm.
and not blame and be the victim. Like even when you said that, I'm like, well, I couldn't love myself in that marriage because I was constantly being told or walking on eggshells or like being put down, it felt like.
Mhm.
But again, it's up to me to do the work and to, I obviously had wounds that I needed healed. I mean, that not good enough underlying belief and lie. But yeah, it just feels really good. Like again, once you feel like it's a high, once you feel this, you want the world to feel it.
Mhm.
You want every single woman, my heart is for women. I want men to feel it too, but like you just want everyone to feel like their value and their to love themselves. Like we're so hard on ourselves.
Mhm.
My gosh, how many women, especially, I did this for years, and I'm sure I'm gonna have a day like tomorrow. I'll be like, Ashley, I need that recording so I can listen to what I said yesterday because it's gonna come back. But hopefully you'll nip it in the butt faster. But it's like this, like, oh my gosh, why can't I do this? Oh my gosh, you know.
Mhm. And what do you do in those moments?
Well, hopefully you realize how to snap out of it, right? I know what brings me joy, whether it's like going for a walk or whether it's journaling and getting my thoughts out and venting, calling a friend and doing the same thing, somebody that trusts and that will like show you who you are, encourage you, empower you, believe in you, tell you, I said that, tell you who you are, like remind you and ask the questions. Sometimes I self-sabotage myself and probably sit in it for a day or two or longer, right? Um, but I guess growth is being aware of like, ooh, I don't like how I'm feeling right now. I need to do something different. Whether it's turning on worship music, turning on a podcast, reading a book, like focusing on gratitude and what is good and what is working and what is the lie I believe. Asking yourself the questions, right? That's why I love coaching, is because you learn the questions to ask.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's hard for me to do it on my own. That's why I love having a coach to like help me because I
Mhm.
get so stuck. I don't even know what question to ask. Or again, sometimes I just want to wallow in my self-pity, right? We just want to be like, I don't have this or this or this. God, what are you waiting for? Like, why am I not seeing the fruit?
Mhm.
But maybe it's just snapping out of it quicker.
Yeah, that self-awareness
Yeah.
and identifying it right up like faster than mhm.
Hmm. And again, you just want, I don't know, I think I just have clarity that like this is what I am meant to do. This is my heart. My heart is to help people. And maybe I went through all that. Everyone goes through their things, right? And you turn your pain into purpose or whatever you want to say. But like,
Mhm.
because I have empathy for the woman that feels stuck in relationship, stuck in finances, unhappy with herself, not good enough. I have empathy for her, but I want to be like, but there's hope. Like you can do something about it, but you have to make the decision to do it.
Mhm.
You have to decide you want something different because you're sick and tired of where you're at.
Yeah.
And you have to know what you want. You have to be clear on what you want. And usually that's, you know what you want because you know what you don't want.
Yes. Mm, how true. Yeah, and that decision is it's just one. It's all it takes.
Yeah, but it's also like daily and hourly, right?
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
Hmm. So good.
It is.
Mm.
So how do you feel about um, your level of trust? You know, that's one thing that you've talked a lot about.
Yeah, I think I can look back on so much where I had fear or uncertainty and I had to trust, right? Like divorce is the easiest one for me to think of because that was the biggest, like, how am I going to do this by myself? The fear. How is this going to even look? What are people going to think? What's going to happen with the kids? I mean, just all the things. And it was like, I had to trust. There was no other way. Like I say, I don't know how people do life without Jesus. I really don't. And believe me, I I was triggered by the word Jesus. Like, don't even talk about him. I just like I wasn't ready for it. But then I found him and realized who he is, and he created us. And
Hmm.
he is the only one that tells me who I am. He's the only one that, not the only, but he tells me the truth. And then
Hmm.
there's people in my life like Ashley that says that I see Jesus in because she tells me the truth. And I'm like, oh, that feels good. Yeah, that feels like me. Yeah. So that's confirmation.
Hmm.
So you build that trust builds, right? Just like anybody. And although, like, I will say, I feel like sometimes I question, like, God, why haven't these finances come in yet? Or why hasn't this happened yet? So it's like, come on, I'm trusting you. But it's like, I mean, I'm not good at quoting scriptures, but it's like his timing. It's like he has a plan for you. So it's like, I just have to keep going back to that and trusting.
Hmm.
And that feels good. That gives me peace. And again, I can look back on all that he's done. And that's because I kind of maybe let go a little bit. I would still like to control things, but I just feel like he knows my heart, he knows my desire, he knows my visions, and my gut feeling and instinct. Like I didn't trust myself for a long
Hmm.
time because I felt like, oh, I make wrong decisions. That was a bad decision. So then I'm like, can I not trust myself? Well, like for me, I feel like my intuition is trusting God, trusting myself. Like it's the same. But I have to sometimes ask the question, like, is this me trying to control it, or am I really hearing God clearly on this?
And
And
how
again,
do you
it's a
know
belief.
that? Hmm.
There's people that believe in God, and there's people that don't. And I choose to believe in Him. That gives me peace. That gives me serenity. And that is like I give Him glory for everything in my life. That's my choice. That's my belief. And if you choose not to, okay, I'm not going to push it on anybody. You do you. I'm going to do me, and I'm not going to spend my energy with people that are not giving me love and joy and peace, all the things that I crave, right? You're not a bad
Yes.
person, but you're not for my space. Like
Yes.
I'm not spending my energy with that. And that's a choice.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And how do you feel being able to make that choice?
That feels empowering. Yep. I am the only one, like I am responsible for me, right? I'm not responsible for anybody else. I'm not going to change anybody else. I tried to do that for years. You cannot change anybody, but
Oh.
you can be the example.
Mhm.
And if people like my desire is to be a light, to be love, and to be joy, and to be peace, so that people are like, ooh, I want more of that. Ooh, I want that. Like my kids, I try my best to just be love, joy, peace. And I hopefully that they see that and they feel that.
Have they been able to see a difference in you?
That'd be a really good question to ask them.
Hmm.
I will ask them that.
Yeah, it is a good question. Like I've
Yeah,
asked my kids. Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna ask them.
Hmm.
I mean, it's mortal, but mortal, I don't know if that's the right word, but sometimes people are like, think about your funeral, like write your obituary. What are people gonna say about you, right? I mean, I want my kids to be like, my mom was amazing. She inspired me to do my best. She worked hard. She loved people. Like, that's what I want people to say about me,
Hmm. Yeah.
especially my kids. Obviously, my kids are like my everything. So, and again, we feel like our kids are not listening sometimes, but they are. So
Hmm.
just keep being you and just keep, right? Like, just keep, they're listening and they are watching every move.
I was just gonna say they're watching everything.
Yep. Yep.
Probably
Yep.
more so than the listening in some cases.
Totally. Yeah. So if
Hmm.
they see me, and I'm pretty real and raw and vulnerable because I'm like, I'm not hiding. This is who I am. I want my kids to see me sad. I want them to see how I handle frustration or lack. Like, what am I going to do about it? And I
Hmm.
probably could be better about showing them, honestly. Like, I feel like so many parents, I don't know why this tangent, but like, I feel like so many parents are like, oh my gosh, I can't let my kids see me unhappy or sad. Like, I have to have it all together. You know what? No, they need to learn from you how you get through the hard, because otherwise
Hmm.
they don't know.
Yeah, yeah. And they think that it's all peaches and cream.
Yeah,
And then when they have those hard times, it can be catastrophic for some.
yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, I love that. That's really amazing. Just being vulnerable in front of your kids. Yeah, I definitely want to acknowledge you for that because that takes courage and obviously vulnerability and
yeah.
being your authentic self and
Hmm.
and it's also it gives a sense of love too that what, my mom's not perfect and
Yeah,
I don't have to pretend and my mom doesn't pretend and like it's okay.
yeah.
Like it's okay. We have rough days. It's okay to have, like
Hmm.
things that we go through and it's just knowing how to handle them and how to get through them.
And I think me as a kid, whatever, high school, college, I never stopped to like we didn't talk about our feelings at home. We didn't, how are you feeling? How are you? Like we didn't talk about it. So I didn't know how. I wasn't aware of how I felt.
Mm,
So I had to, as an adult, I feel like learn to ask the questions and stop. Like self-awareness is so huge. And, I appreciate you saying that, but I feel like I need to be better at being more open with my kids and being more vulnerable and like, but I feel like I'm still figuring it out as a parent, as an adult. So like I can
mhm,
only share what I've learned. So it's
mhm,
like yeah. And we all know we're just so distracted by everything anymore. I barely ever sit and turn off. I don't watch much TV, but like a podcast or even music or whatever, or a journal. Like I barely ever just sit. That's why the breathing for however long, 3 minutes is like so powerful
mm,
to literally just
yeah.
breathe and take your brain off. And I know people meditate. I probably need to meditate more or whatever. See, I should meditate more.
Oh, you
But
should stop
just to
shitting all over
turn our brain,
yourself.
I know, right? So bad. Anyway, like self-awareness is so huge.
Hmm.
How do you feel? It's so good.
Yeah. How are you feeling? No.
Again, it's just so helpful to talk through, right? Like I work from home, so and sometimes I don't have my kids for days, so I'm by myself. And yes, I journal and blah, 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 or talk to a friend, but like it's so good to intentionally stop and like think, how do you feel? I feel it's so good to just process. Sometimes we have to like verbally process how we're feeling with somebody.
Hmm.
Yes, I can talk to God. Yes, I can journal, but like having a human being for me, this is why for me coaching is like I will never not have a coach.
Hmm.
Like I'm so grateful to you and to coaches I've had because they just hold space where you can process, where you can be heard, and we just don't do it enough.
Yeah.
And for you to literally just ask the question because you're not in my head. So you get to look at it from outside perspective and you get to just ask a question because you're not feeling all the, oh my God, this and I should have this and oh my gosh, I'm not good enough. You get to from an outside looking in, ask me that question and I'm like, oh, let me stop all the freaking thoughts in my head and actually think, how do I feel? Like this, I get so excited talking to you. I swear our conversations lately, like I'm like, I just want to bottle this up. Sorry, I'm on my laptop. It's shaking. Like I, it, I'm gonna ask you later, but like with your permission, I just want to post this to my podcast because this is gold. And I'm not saying I'm like, oh, I have it all figured out, but there's just nuggets here because of all the work that I've done and because I have such a desire for more. And
Hmm.
like, I'm just so happy and so grateful to be in this space to create and to hopefully inspire others and hopefully make an impact on other people. Like that gives me so much joy to see people transform from somebody like me that was so freaking unhappy and lonely and running on a hamster wheel to like this sense of like knowing and trusting and peace and loving myself that and I am a work in progress. We are all a work in progress. I don't think I'll ever have arrived. Like,
No.
okay, we're good. I'm done. I'm done. Nope. No.
Yeah.
We're made to grow, right? If we're not growing, we're dying.
Right. Well, yeah. And like scripture says, it's keeping with repentance too, like and that is part of it, you know. Like when we're not loving ourselves, there's actually, and we haven't talked about this yet, but it is actually like it is a sin. Like it is
Mm,
because, you know, when like our creator wants us to respect him and to
mm,
honor him. And so when we are just on that hamster wheel of, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, um, we're taking his name in vain.
yeah.
We are taking his name in vain because we are good enough. Like it's a lie. It's false testimony against ourselves and against him.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not good.
Like
It,
we're basically saying you didn't do a good job,
yeah,
right?
like, yeah, and
You
you're a
didn't do a
liar.
good job creating me. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're a liar. Like that's what that's saying is that he's a liar. Hmm.
I mean that you can kind
Yes.
of laugh about it, right?
Yeah. And who is the liar?
Yeah.
Yeah, that ancient
Mm,
deceiver. The
mm,
ancient deceiver, Satan
so
himself.
good.
Hmm. Yeah. How are you feeling?
I'm just like on fire. Every time I talk to you and anymore, I'm just like I just feel so aligned. Like we're such on similar paths. And
Hmm.
it's amazing to, again, know your story and know that I'm not alone in some of my thoughts and my feelings. You're not alone.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, many people feel this way. And it's a little bit comforting knowing I'm not the only one. And I get to walk with people like Ashley. People want to walk together. We were made to do this life together, not alone.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Amen.
I just feel like this journey we're on, it's like so amazing. It's exciting. It's rewarding. Like I just can't wait to see where this goes. So, you never know.
Yeah. I think it is very exciting. And yeah, I'm like, okay, let's do it.
I know, right? So, just in case we post this up as a podcast and you want to reach out to either of us, I'll probably put Ashley in my contact info because Ashley's an amazing freaking coach. Like, she can share more about it, but she's a life purpose coach and she takes you through some work to figure out who you are and who you're created to be. And then she takes you through a visualization and she's done with this me a couple times. Praise God. Like, she's blessed me with that. And then she just holds space for you to just do the work and just ask the right questions. And it's so empowering. And I'm so grateful, so grateful
Mm,
to
thank you,
have met you
Miranda.
and to know you and to watch you. Like I've gotten to watch her grow and step into who she's meant to be. And it's just like it's such a blessing. Like I freaking get goosebumps because that's what excites me. Being stuck in your ways, stuck in this unhappiness, whatever you want to call it, to stepping into who you are meant to be. And that
Hmm.
that to me is probably our purpose. That's our purpose, stepping into who we're meant to be.
Yeah,
And that's the journey of life.
right. It's really like coming from darkness into the light.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes, but it's a choice.
Yeah. Don't stay in the
Yeah.
darkness. Come to the
Nope.
light.
Yep. So good. All right.
Awesome.
I feel like we should stop the recording.